Welcome to Beer Untapped with Perry Miller, the podcast. I'm joined by Seth.
Hey, welcome, guys. Thanks for finding us on the internet.
Now, these shows originally aired on Brookings Radio, but now they're all here for your enjoyment. I hope you like it.
There you go. Sit back, enjoy the show, relax. Let us know if you want to see anything on future shows. As we said, this comes out live in the Brookings area, but enjoy this archive episode.
Beer Untapped with Perry Miller.
Welcome to Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. This week, Belgian beers. A surprising number of the highest-rated beers in the world come from that European country that is slightly smaller than the state of Maryland, has a population of about 11 million people, yet is home to approximately 130 breweries.
Beers that originated in Belgium. They have more original beers from one country than the rest of the world has original beers combined.
Seth Cook there from Wooden Legs Brewing in Brookings. Perhaps the best-known segment of Belgian beers, the Abbey Ales. And within that designation, the very special Trappist ales.
There's a number of Trappist monasteries that carry a brand that this beer was officially made at the monastery. And that's more than just a marketing campaign, actually. These monasteries actually their income is from the sales of beer. Of course, they do cheese and wine, and there's other Trappist goods. But the breweries that are Trappist breweries have committed to returning all of the proceeds back to betterment of the abbey or of the monastery themselves. And then anything above and beyond that is for the betterment of the community. So it's actually a really cool beer.
And they are amazing beers, big and complex, with sometimes hundreds of years of history behind them.
There's no lack of complexity in these beers. Some of these beers are the best cellaring beers you'll ever have. You can put them in the cellar and honestly forget about them in some cases for decades and still come out with a really and wonderfully complex beer, from raisins to hard oak notes to there's about anything that you can imagine. Breads. They stay away from some of the hops and the floral characters. You won't get a lot of the IPA styles, but you get a lot more of the sugars. They use Belgian candy sugars, rich, beautiful, complex layers of flavors.
Some of the Trappist ales are very hard to find, but some are readily available even here in South Dakota. But be forewarned, they are not cheap.
They've traveled a long ways. There's very few of them, but they are worth every penny there. And it's not just the expense of the travel and the rarity of them all. They actually use really high quality ingredients. And I mean, all of this is a very, very traditional process. Some of the breweries still carry some modern automation, but nowhere close to the scale of the big breweries. These are very classically done, classically produced beers.
There are 10 official Trappist breweries in the entire world. 6 of them are in Belgium. Beers from Orval, Chimay, Westmalle, and Rochefort are easy to find here in South Dakota. More from Belgium when Beer Untapped continues.
With my duvel in my hand, then you must understand I'm a Belgian, so nothing worries me. Hot verdikke, it's great to be a Belgian.
Welcome back to Beer Untapped with Perry Miller as we discuss Belgian beers, specifically Abbey and Trappist ales. As you heard in part 1, these are big and complex beers. Now, how about tasting some? They can be had, and Wooden Legs has even brewed a beer in the style of a Belgian Abbey ale.
St. Isidore was our Belgian style. It was a strong ale. That beer was 10.8% alcohol. St. Isidore is the patron saint of laborers and farmers, and that was a beer that it takes a ton of work. It takes a ton of grain to put together, but we did that just to show that some of these styles can be replicated locally. Of course, we're not a Belgian brewery and wouldn't claim to be, but we can get really close.
Wooden Legs also has some of the Trappist beers on hand in the cooler, the real thing. You can give them a try. You can also find them at Brookings Liquor Store. Drew Eklund tells us about a couple.
First one is Rochefort Brewery. It was founded in 1595 and produces 3 different beers. They're labeled 6, 8, and 10. And I would try them in that order. The 6 and 8 are both Belgian strong ales, with the 8 being a bit stronger than the 6. Both are malty and complex, sweeter. The 10 is a quadruple, and it's big and bold. And
amazing.
It's probably the best of the 3, but like I said, I would start off with the 6 and work your way up to it. They're available in 12-ounce bottles from $5.49 to $5.99. The next is Chimay Brewery. It was founded in 1862. They also make 3 different kinds of beer. They're represented by the colors red, blue, and yellow. The red, also known as Premier, is a double and has a sweet, fruity taste to it. The blue, or Grand Reserve, is slightly stronger, slightly hoppier than the red. And the yellow is a triple, and it's the driest and hoppiest of the 3. They're available in bombers, starting at $12 to $13, 4-packs at $20 to $23, and single 12-ounce bottles from $5 to $6.
And they have a few others, too. Drew can help you out. Brennan Sully Sullivan at Pints and Quarts in Brookings says they have a few of the Trappist beers in the cooler as well.
You can almost always come down here and grab a few bottles, whether it's any of the Roquefort series or Orval or Belgian style like Matilda or something like that.
And this week's Mike Tap Handle Beer of the Week at Pints and Quarts is a Belgian-style beer with a little added extra.
The New Belgium Frambozen, the sour raspberry brown ale.
It's basically a brown ale with raspberries added.
Yep, and I think they use lambic yeast to kind of sour up a little bit.
So if you're ready to broaden your beer horizons, I encourage you to give an Abbey ale a try, especially the Trappist ones. Wow, they're something else. They may be a bit pricey, but you can buy them 1 bottle at a time. That's always nice. Hey, that'll do it for this week's edition of Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. Next week, cellaring and aging beer. Until then, drink local and drink responsibly.
Thank you for listening to this archived edition of Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. Feel free to listen to other episodes, and if there's anything you'd like us to talk about on a future show, please let us know. Thanks again.